Alright, so let's look at the following example. The price of a popular tennis racket at a national chain store is $179. Portia bought 5 of the same racket at an online auction site for the following prices. We've got those 5 prices. Assuming that the auction prices of rackets are normally distributed, determine whether there is sufficient evidence in the sample at the 5% level of significance to conclude that the average price of the racket is less than $179 if purchased at an online auction. Okay, so first, we need to put these in our calculator and find the mean and the standard deviation. Now, since we've already been tested over that, I'm not going to actually do that right here, but if you put those into your calculator, the sample mean, or X bar, ends up being 169, and the sample standard deviation, S, ends up being 10.3923. And of course, we have N equals 5 pieces of data. Okay, now, this is a hypothesis test, so let's first state our null hypothesis. And our null hypothesis is going to be the status quo, that our mean, mu, is equal to $179. But our hypothesis is that these other prices are less than 179. All right, so there's our 2 hypotheses. All right, first thing we want to do is find our test statistic. Since we have the sample standard deviation and not the population standard deviation, we're going to do our t calculation. I wish it would quit capitalizing things, but all right, so we will have on the top our sample mean was 169 minus the mean we have in our hypothesis, 179, divided by our standard deviation, 10.3923, divided by the square root of our sample size 5. So let's see. Square root takes me a moment to find it, of 5. Gosh darn it. And if we put that into our calculator, we get negative 2.152. All right, now, using our level of significance of 5% or 0.05, we need to find our critical value. Now, since we did not have the population standard deviation, we need to use a t-table to look it up. And I'm going to, again, use that Statistic site to help us find that t-value. All right, so here's a t-distribution calculator that's in our Statistic site. And our degrees of freedom are 4. Remember, 1 less than the sample size. And our significance was 0.05. And remember, this is to the left, so we want the area to the left, and this is a left-tailed test, so we can just put in 0.05. We don't have to do anything else. Now let's hit calculator, and it tells us the t-scored is negative 2.132. Okay, so all right, now let's notice that this is to the left of this value on the number line, so it is in our critical region, especially since we're looking at things that are to the left-tailed tests. All right, so we want to reject the null hypothesis, since this is in our rejection region. All right, so there is enough evidence alpha is equal to 0.05 to reject the null hypothesis. It appears that the prices at the auction site, or wherever this auction was, are less than $179. And there we have it.